I'm Chris Maru, bringing you the Texas Monitor Week in Review. Philip Jones, the CEO of Visit Dallas, faces renewed questions over the time he spends participating in endurance racing while on official business trips. The Convention Bureau spends around $80,000 a year on his travel, and the chief financial officer says Philip Jones spends his own money on any extra expenses. However, records provided to the Texas Monitor show discrepancies in the times he was supposed to be on official business and times he was at a marathon. For example, in 2015, city records indicate the Bureau paid for Jones to travel to San Diego on March 27th, the same day a triathlon took place in nearby Oceanside. The official event he was there to be a part of didn't actually begin until the 30th, 3 days after his Visit Dallas-sponsored trip began. We found multiple occasions where Mr. Jones began official trips while at the same time participating in racing events, something he's proud of. He told a publication that he's competed in 25 triathlons around the world and qualified for the Ironman World Championships. He told us in an email he travels about 100 nights a year, and on a handful of occasions he has chosen to extend a Visit Dallas trip for personal travel at his own expense. Actually, it's difficult to verify which expenses the CEO paid for himself. Visit Dallas provided broad summaries that show only totals of what they paid for with no details. For a trip to London and Norway, city records show Jones started his trip on June 27th, while Visit Dallas shows a different date, July 2nd. The Bureau paid $5,700 for airfare and a $2,300 hotel stay, but no actual details on expenses were available. On a trip to Canada in 2014, another discrepancy. City records showing Jones started his trip 4 days before the August 18th official event, and coincidentally, a nearby Ironman race started the day before. Again, no detailed records for the trip either. The coincidences concern some Visit Dallas board members, such as Dallas City Council member Jennifer Gates, who says even if Jones is paying for part of the trip, running races while on city business is not good. Another council member, Scott Griggs, said there are plenty of races close to Dallas and says it looks like the CEO is leveraging his position in the Bureau to further his career as a triathlete in exotic locations. In fact, several members of the Dallas City Council want to do away with Visit Dallas after an audit found the organization ran with almost total independence with no monitoring of financial reports. It also found the Bureau provides pretty murky data on its success. Now, this isn't the first time the CEO has spent Visit Dallas money without accountability. He's racked up $7,000 in gifts without detailing the purchases and often exceeds his per diem limits on travel expenses. His contract currently runs through 2020. Two top aides to former Congressman Steve Stockman have been sentenced to prison. Jason Posey was ordered to pay over $700,000 and spend a year and a half behind bars, and Thomas Dodd faced similar consequences. The fraud began after Steve Stockman won re-election in 2013 to represent the suburbs of Houston. He also challenged Senator John Cornyn, but lost in the primary. A federal grand jury indicted Stockman after finding that over $1 million in campaign donations and phony nonprofit contributions had been laundered to bank accounts where Stockman withdrew the money for, get this, dolphin watching, hot air balloon rides, and household expenses. In case you're wondering, that is illegal. Stockman was convicted on 23 felony counts connected to the scheme. His former aides say the people who donated to the former congressman's fake charities knew they were really paying for political favors. Stockman will spend 10 years in prison for those crimes. Lastly, a lawsuit has been filed against the Edinburg School District down in the Valley, seeking a restraining order to stop the district from using taxpayer money to fund a campaign aimed at approving a $220 million bond issue. Jane Cross and Jerry Rivera claim the district used public funds to print brochures and hold public events, something clearly prohibited in state law. Edinburg insists it's simply providing information about the bond proposal, but attorney Javier Villalobos says most districts use public resources to promote bonds, but no one says anything, and most of the time the bond passes anyway. The district would rather the complaint be filed with the Texas Ethics Commission, but that takes a while, and with only 2 weeks before voting begins, Villalobos says There just isn't enough time. A hearing is set for Thursday in Hidalgo County Court. For more government accountability news around the state, go to texasmonitor.org. You can also follow us on Facebook, Facebook.com/The Texas Monitor, and on Twitter @The Texas Monitor. I'm Chris Maru.